I've played every Pokemon game, except these three. I'm still working on finishing Ultra Moon with its impressive frame rate, and Kalos, I think I'm good. Look, I've loved Gen 5 since it released, okay? I celebrate Unova more than my own birthday, and yet I've never beaten the second games in the series. So today, I'm planning on changing that. This is my first experience with Pokémon BLACK 2. Once I boot up the game, I get greeted by the limited 3D we all love from Unova, but this time in an unfamiliar setting. Because this game is a proper sequel, we actually start our adventure on the opposite side of the region. This is Nimbasa City, where we not only meet our rival Crack, but also get our first Pokemon who seems indestructible. Obviously, our first battle went as smooth as possible, but I should probably mention right now that if I had lost that battle, I would have had to restart the whole run and hand in my Pokemon veteran card. Yeah, this is a Nuzlocke. I know, YouTubers just can't normally play the game and enjoy it anymore, but listen dude, I'm gonna be honest, the reason I'm Nuzlocking it is because 1, it makes me feel good, pause if necessary. 2, I find ending up in horrible situations because of my own mistakes funny to write about. So if you're interested in seeing me take on more challenges, make sure to subscribe. Help your small channel out, will ya? It won't hurt. So first things first, our encounter. A sweet simple pet rat that I ended up naming Teal. This region has tons of fun Pokemon I like to catch, like an Excadrill, Maractus, or a Reuniclus. Nope, you're version locked. Damn. Don't worry, I can make things work with this Sunkern, I guess. After getting through some extremely uneventful battles, we arrived at the Flowsassy Ranch where Crack challenges us once again, just to embarrass himself. The owners of this ranch introduced themselves to us and mentioned that their herd ear is missing, which they seem oddly calm about. Like, if my pet was missing, I pull off like a Gary come home performance. Crack seemed to agree with me and we started searching for that Pokemon. But first, I had to catch a Lillipup. Welcome to your squad, Gary. After confronting the Team Plasma member who just decided not to fight me, the game decides to hold my hand a little longer by teaching me about type matchups. What am I doing with my life? The one thing I had my eyes on was the first gym. It shouldn't be too difficult since it's just Charon with his normal types and you know, it's the first gym. I kinda need him flinches if he's gonna work up. Hey, Pedret. Can you please flinch? Flinch him? My hero! I forgot about that. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna buy it again. I'm having Pedret for dinner, bro. And you know what? Give me some dog with it. I'm gonna buy it again. Oh, he outspeeds. Okay, that's a little scary. But I'm gonna buy it again. That did no damage, dude. I'm cooked. Okay, how do I win this? La Flora? I don't see any some water gyms inside, so oh, you're slower too. I just basically killed you for nothing. My bad, bro. Why is this Lillipup so fast though? And why does it do so much damage? Hey, mine is faster. Gary! Yes, sir. Okay, one unfortunate death that I might have been able to avoid. Was I able to avoid it? Nah, not really, right? Okay, so maybe I underestimated Charon a bit. Look, I'm not going to make the mistake of starting a fight with no real plan again, okay? It's just not worth going through those tutorials again. To celebrate my first gym badge, the professor's assistant Bianca got me an Apple Watch and I sent Sunkern to hell. Could be worse though. He could have ended in Furbank City, the city of Pokemon Hollywood and toxic rockstars. The second gym is a poison type gym, and as you may have noticed, none of my Pokemon have an advantage here. So I wanted to do something about that. Introducing our luckiest encounter, I might get this entire run. Fant the Magnemite. Now at the time I caught Fant, I wasn't aware but electric steel type basically resists like 6 out of 8 gym leaders and is super effective against at least 2. This entity would turn out to be the solution to the entire second gym. All Fant needed was a Thundershock and Roxy's Pokemon constantly ended up paralyzed and fainted. It was a really impressive performance, just like my debut at the Pokestar Studios. This is just a cute side quest, but I honestly love how much stuff I've already gotten to experience in just the beginning of the game. And then Team Plasma shows up again to run the fun, ranting about being betrayed and taking over the world. Yeah, right. It's time to explore Unova's Big Apple, Castelia City. I always get impressed by the amount of care that Game Freak put into the city. From the little shops to the art expositions. The only things missing here are glizzy vendors and a horrible infrastructure. Instead, we have the Castelia sewers, filled with adults playing dress up and rats. Maybe it is New York after all. Coming here didn't end up being a waste of time though, since we also got to meet Colress. Colress seems to be a scientist that researches bonds between Pokemon and their trainers. I feel like we'll be seeing him again. Probably because he's on the case cover of the game. The best part about the sewers were the great encounters we got here. First we got Rattata and Cottonee. Both Pokemon can get quite powerful with the right abilities and movesets. But our third encounter? Well, this was the perfect opportunity to get the Drillbur. And instead I got met with disappointment. For now, honestly, let's just stay calm and compose ourselves for Berg and his Bug-type gym. Okay, best case scenario, Berg starts to fight here with his Dwebble like I predicted. Interesting. I don't necessarily love that for me. I took way more damage than I wanted to. There's the Dwebble. I don't think Dwebble could kill me if I went for takedown. I think I killed Dwebble though. Yeah. Oh, that was not effective though. Okay, you did a great job. I liked what I saw there. Oh, bruh, I forgot the name Girder. Honestly, I just want to go for chip away and see what happens. I don't think you can kill me. Well, Razor Leaf has a high chance to crit, so maybe I should play around that. Oh, I did no damage. Okay, if you crit me, I'm dead. I gotta switch. Girder, you did a great job. You will be getting a name soon, trust me. But for now, I need Teal to clutch up. Let's go, Teal. If Teal gets hit by a crit, it might be over. But I want to go for Hypnosis, because that will basically, like, finish everything off for me. That's like a guarantee. I'ma do it. I believe in you, Teal. Don't get crit. I believe in you. Woo! But you hit that shit. You hit the shit any day of the week, don't you? What the hell? You have an Oran Berry, Citrus, and you woke up? I'm confident. Well, if I got crit there, I would have been dead. But I'm confident. I'm confident in Wendy's. I'm confident. I play a confident game, baby. I'm actually really surprised there are no deaths so far. I usually let people die. To be fair, it's only Gym 3 though. So we've gotten past the third gym, which means that from this point onwards, everything will be blind to me. And I immediately started noticing changes when I saw a bunch of crystals block my road on Route 4. Luckily, Colress was here with some type of machine to scare them away. And he battled me, but with Mike on my side, it really wouldn't turn out to be an issue. Around this area, we also got a Trubbish and an amazing Darumaka at the Desert Resort. I'd also forced my way into the Relic Castle, which might have turned out to be a mistake because... yeah. Govagrigus is also cool. So yeah, my party is jacked. But not as jacked as it could have been. But that's fine, There's still a lot of game left. Like Nimbasa City, the same city where I went on a date with Anne in the last game. But this isn't the same Nimbasa I once knew. Lots of facilities have been added, like the battle subway, a sports arena, and a second gym building that I didn't know about. Which resulted in me spending 20 minutes in the wrong building for nothing. My favorite game betrayed me, and I'm supposed to believe Silksong is releasing this year. At least I'm on the runway. I'm gonna be real honest with you, I'm kinda nervous for this fight because I have nothing against electricity. Paralyze can really fuck me over, and I don't really know what she has in store for me. With no static? Never mind. Let me detect. Well, now Teal is useless. I'm gonna go Gary for Intimidate, that's huge. I don't like that. That is with Intim? Gary is too good to just sack. Like, Intim is too good. There's that flame charge I was talking. You missed the Hyper Fang? No, dude, you are gonna die now. The one thing you couldn't do that with, bro. Got it. You like volt switching, huh? No, enjoy these toxic spikes then. Toxic spikes? That's what we had Tears of the Kingdom for. I did it for a reason, because volt switch kills Mike if it comes down to it. But Gary! Yo, Fentanyl is beating Moga's ass, bro. The Vent cleanup. Wow. Magnemite ends up securing the win for us once again. But for our great friends, Tears of the Kingdom, Wendy's, and Gary, things didn't end so well. They're dead. This fight made me realize that I needed to be more careful and that I needed to be more calculated. Some of these deaths, not you, could have been avoided if I just used Vent a bit more. This Pokemon honestly might be the solution to all my problems, except the next gen. For that stupid trash bag excuse of a human, I'd need some different encounters. Pokemon that could actually stand a chance against his ground types, and most importantly, against this Excadrill. This Pokemon holds the power to overthrow a government with its extremely powerful typings of Steel and Ground. And bro, it has an attack stat of 135. I might be fucked, gang. Yeah, I'm definitely fucked. Okay, to be fair, we did get some great captures for this fight. Not only do we still have some potential teammates in the box, but we actually got some great encounters. Introducing Ducklet and Swadloon. But unfortunately, this Pokemon only evolves with the stat I lack the most, friendship. Luckily, Fent is always there for me. Anyways, I did have my first rotation battle, which was pretty cool. I've always preferred battles with multiple Pokemon. Doubles was actually the main game mode I used to play in Sword and Shield. Is there a reason I'm telling you this? No, maybe. I don't know. So we finally arrived in Driftfield City, where we run into Team Plasma once again. The twist this time is that they are good guys. So why are you guys still dressed as cultists? At least they gave me a Zorua, which is pretty sweet. I forgive him. A brand new Zoroark immediately got a spot on our anti-clay team, led by our new superstar, Rayshawn. So after successfully running into every gym trainer, it will be time to face the roadblock to every one of my Nuzlocke. Clay only has 3 Pokemon starting with its Krokorok. Definitely not the worst Pokemon to face the first turn, if it didn't intimidate me. Rayshawn is actually a physical attacker, so we couldn't take it out immediately. We could do it in the second turn though. Second up was his Excadrill. I actually expected it to come out last, but life doesn't always work in your favor. That's why Mike also couldn't finish the job with its wake up slaps. And he also, unsurprisingly, gets crit. So Starter had to join the battle and show off how water pulses. And lastly, Clay had the Sand Slash, but we've already beaten the Boogeyman. Now that I've defeated my biggest op once and for all, it's time to actually have some fun in Driftfield City. Introducing the Pokemon World Tournament. This has to be the coolest side activity in the game. Look at the presentation, dude. It's awesome. Also, Team Plasma are pirates now. As soon as we boarded their ship, it would be non-stop battles. But I wasn't really stressed at this point, since I had such an anti-Team Plasma team. After manhandling them once again, they admit to their criminal plans of taking over the region and teleport us off a ship with ninjas. I have no idea where this is going. We are just going to Chargestone Cave. Here we will get our second chance at catching Drillbur. And we walk out with pure disappointment once again. We did get a full Fent in here, so you know what? It wasn't all that bad. Killing my Route 6 encounter was. Speaking of 6, we just arrived in Mistral City, home of the 6th gym. That was all I had to say about this part, since nothing interesting happened. Moving forward, I'd end up having to look for Professor Juniper, who was holed up in Celestial Tower. No side quests or anything. That was all. I told you this part was boring. The only redeeming factor of this place is the first floor. You see, on this floor, there's a 100% chance to run into a Pokemon that could potentially carry an entire Nuzlocke. Litwick. Once I got back to Mistralton City, me and the gang took a plane trip to a place I'm completely unfamiliar with, Lentimas Town. This is a town that exclusively got added to Black and White 2, and I love it here. I was honestly surprised that I not only got to see new places in this world, but how unique and passionate they felt. They even gave this town the Breaking Bad filter to make it stand out even more. Over here, Bianca and I would enter a cave together. This will be my last chance to make my dream of catching Excadrill come true. Excadrill actually has a 100% spawn rate in the Dust Cloud over at the Reversal Mountain. All I had to do was avoid every encounter until I ran into one of those. But how is that possible? Well, I used repels. And just like that, we've achieved our goal of getting the Excadrill at Reversal Mountain and made this a success. Ronald, no! Although our swan has passed away, we needed to move on. Introducing the beautiful Undella Town. I know I scared someone with that note. This town is probably one of the smallest in Unova, and it's also one of my favorites. This place is so beautiful. And the music, that's that good stuff. We managed to encounter Staryu at sea and Budcrank on land, and I've somehow went this whole video without mentioning how good his battle team is. Like genuinely, name me a better rival battle team. Oh wait, he still doesn't stand a chance against my big 3 though. Van takes care of his Infazant with just 3 Electroballs. The one that can be destroyed one-shots his Simisear, and Superior is out here looking lactose intolerant with the way it can't tank a hit from Cheese did. Our next encounter probably can't do that either, but that's okay, since I love Tangela. And yes, I did skip Cobalion on purpose, I just love this Vine Ball. It's awesome, just like you watching. Professor Juniper introduced us to an old lady that actually knows the lore behind the new legendary Pokemon. It ate people, and now it's locked up in a giant chasm, which is probably what Team Plasma is looking for. A real sicko to join their team of sickos. Like this evil dude whose reason to stay in Team Plasma is just curiosity. He's curious what the world would look like if they released an evil fucking dragon that eats people. Of course, Buckrack and I kicked their ass, but we never seemed to be able to knock some sense into them. I did catch a cool Heracross though. So following this encounter, I make a quick pit stop at the village bridge to possibly get the rarest Pokemon you can get here. Instead I got a Marill. Although I didn't get my preferred encounter, Village Bridge still had a lot to offer. Like it had this old guy who had a win streak of 999, which I crushed with my advantageous typings once again. But what will happen if my type advantages can't destroy everything in their path? Well, I'd soon have to figure that out because the next leader, Drayden, has the potential to wipe my entire team. Although he got demoted from the 8th gym leader to the 7th gym leader, the typing he has is probably the strongest one in the game. And I don't have any Pokemon that have any dragon type moves or ice type moves. I would've if you didn't show up. I also can't bring our ace Fan to this fight since Flygon destroys Magnezone and the other two resist electricity. And I couldn't risk that at this stage of the game. So what did I do from here? Well, I probably made the biggest mistakes of my Nuzlocking career. Remember the Staryu I got earlier in the run? Well, after some experimenting, I found out about this move called Reflect Type. The move's description says, the user reflects the target's type, making it the same type as the target. Really important to acknowledge that you become the target's type, not the other way around. Because I didn't, which got Starro killed. And not only did it get Starro killed, it meant that Fiend the Whimsicott that I had put all of my faith in to just Energy Ball and destroy the Druddigon did less damage than a puppy hand. So we had to switch to plan B, Tailwind Belly Drum. It's not the most creative strategy, but it sure is effective. So boom, I set up my Tailwind. And unfortunately barely survived, which means Fiend lives one more turn and we'll have to wait with the Belly Drum strat. Once Cheese Dip enters the battle, I immediately go for Belly Drum and the next turn I knock it out simple and clean. So 3 turns of Tailwind have gone by and now all I have to do is Hammer Arm this Flygon and we'll be in a position to end this battle. Except for the fact that 4 turns have actually gone by. As you can see, I was left in a state of visible confusion. But after some reflection, I understood that my strategy was flawed. Somehow, I forgot that the first turn of Tailwind is actually the turn that you use it. And because I mostly play doubles, where I can immediately notice Tailwind taking effect, I didn't realize that it was in effect, because obviously my turn was over. I only had one move I could use that turn. If Fiend actually didn't survive on 4 HP, I could have been in my ideal scenario, but instead, I'm now down 3 Pokemon because of my dumb mistake. Was able to come in and do major damage with Surf, but like, he took more than I planned for and Haxorus still had to hit the field. Genuinely, if that burn didn't kill, he would have just Hyper Potioned and just swept me. And to make my loss feel even worse, Team Plasma bombs the city. They did this because they are looking for an item Drayden has been protecting, DNA Splicers. With this item, Team Plasma could strengthen the legendary Pokemon Kyurem even more than they could imagine. It will be the strongest Pokemon Unova has ever seen, but luckily Drayden and I were there to stop them. Until Drayden decided to take the DNA Splicers outside. Drayden, why the fuck would you take the DNA Splicers outside? Of course the ninja showed up again, stole the Splicers without a fight, and managed to get away. This dude can't do anything, bro. Demote him to the 4th gym, please. Please. What was I supposed to do from here? Half of my team died, and Team Plasma had the power to turn the entire region into an ice age. Well, just continue the gym challenge, I suppose. I guess that has priority over literally saving the world right now. The future wasn't all bad though. Early in the game, I actually skipped an encounter that I didn't even know I had. In a Mistralton cave, that you can only reach with Surf, there's actually a possibility to encounter 4 incredibly powerful Pokemon. And I was fortunate enough to catch the one I yearned for the most. Let me introduce y'all to the savior, the chosen one, LeBron! That's right, I might have gotten myself the most powerful Pokemon in the entire region. Okay, he might not be that good. At least he looks like it. LeBron the Haxorus has an insane attack stat, really good speed, and decent physical defense. The issue is that it has no HP. It's kind of like a glass cannon, but it's not like we're going to find that much better at this point. After a bit of backtracking, we return to Town to access the new Marine Zoo. And I know I've been complimenting this game a bunch for its presentation, but like, dude, come on, look at this! This game just feels like a love ladder. And Humalai City is just full of personality. It gives a lovely, tropical vibe, and the colors just pop over here. I don't know what it is, but everything new that this game has introduced has rubbed off on me in the best way possible. I'd almost be willing to say I prefer this game over its predecessor. Like, they're really close. The Nuzlocke City gym also turned out to capture the beautiful tropical vibe, which is something I can really appreciate. And about the last gym fight against Marlin, well, I've been preparing for this one since the second gym. I know what I'm doing. Normally I'd start a fight like this with Fant, but I actually wanted to switch things up and start things with a different Pokemon. Mike actually outspeeds the Caracosta, and Hammer R does so much damage that Fant can just easily pick up the kill the next turn with Electro Ball. To play it safe, I switch out Fant for Todd, the newly evolved Tangrowth. I praised him so much earlier, so are you really that surprised I brought him? The only issue is that Wailord actually is an asshole and has Bounce, which is super effective. So Todd wouldn't really do anything and had to be switched out for Charizard. And then destroys Wailord with Discharge. Discharge wouldn't do a lot of damage against Marlin's final Pokemon Jellicent, but I'd ration for this. There's nothing Marlin could have done. And with just one Leaf Blade, I'd earn myself a final badge. Now the only thing that would stand in between me and the Pokemon League will be terrorism. So we searched the East Blue for Team Plasma, and on the way there we actually found a better Pokemon than LeBron. I also ran into Colress one more time, where he would just wish me good luck and do a silly little emote. What a cool guy. Eventually Bugcrack and I would find the Team Plasma ship once again, and we just end up battling a bunch of trainers just to get in. We meet a spy in there who tells us to flip all the security switches off. We fought Sinsolin again, and finally got to see Kieran for ourselves. And then the ninjas teleported us off the ship again. Bro, what the hell, man? Once we arrived at the giant chasm, it actually started feeling like the endgame. We fought through waves of Team Plasma members. This was gonna be it. So after one last fight against Sinsolin, we finally get to meet Team Plasma's leader for the final showdown. Colress? The cool dude I've been a fan of for the whole game is a terrorist? You're finished. You're finished. Brah! Mods. Crush your skull. You have sturdy too. Why do all your Pokemon have sturdy? Oh wait. But guess what? Earthquake don't miss. Okay, Klinklang is a difficult one because Klinklang low-key has the power to kill my whole team. I think this is where the Dragon Dance comes in. Let me just see how much damage this does. Oh no. Oh no. Yo, you gotta chill. You gotta chill with the attack raises. Wait, he outspeeds me. Indigo. 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 I don't know at this point. This dude is insane. Oh, please don't kill. 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 It is multi-hitting, right? It's multi-hitting. It's multi-hitting. And it hit me twice. Please kill. Goat! Indigo, you're the goat! I love your color. I love my color, Indigo. How many Pokemon do you have? Oh, this is your last one. You're finished, buddy. You're finished. That was a good fight. I like that. I like the team. Now that we've taken down Colress, it will be time to put a stop to terrorism once and for all. Starting with the mysterious ninjas who took Bugcrack's Purloin. I expected Bugcrack to exact his revenge that he's been foreshadowing all game long, but he somehow disappointed me again by losing his will to fight. So it will be up to me to take on 3 ninjas. And they ended up standing no chance against Spork and her Earthquakes. It's kinda ridiculous how good this one mole Pokemon actually is. She has destroyed everything standing in her way, and once we finally met the real final boss of Team Plasma, I planned to just spam Earthquakes once again. And I would've, if he wasn't a step ahead of me. He decided to kill me before I could even Pokemon battle him. If not for my glorious King Anne, I would have been turned into Swiss cheese. But this was all part of Ghetsis' plan. And showing up with Sacrum allowed Ghetsis to finally make use of the DNA splicers, using them as Patara earrings to fuse the 2 legendaries, creating Kieran Black. But even the Boxart legendary didn't stand a chance against this monster, which left us with just Ghetsis. According to the internet, this is the hardest fight in the game, and I have to agree. Although he's a psycho, he knows how to build a broken team. My team was built in a way to compete with Ghetsis' Pokemon, and yet one unlucky turn could result in the end of my whole Nuzlocke. To start the battle for Unova, I sent out Spork. Her job is to take out Confronting and Seismitoad, which will be very difficult because both have a bunch of defense I have to deal with. But Confronting also has Protect, a move the Pokemon AI has a chance to click when it assumes I can do major damage against it. So I boldly go for Swords Dance. And I was right, which grants me the power to not only take out Confronting with 1 Earthquake,
but Ghetsis is Seismitoad as well. So far going all in has brought me major success, but as I've learned from a gambling debt, slowing it down also has its advantages from time to time. Which is exactly why I take it slow and predict Drapions Earthquake, and then proceed to Dragon Dance with LeBron, sweeping Drapion out of our way, which would force Ghetsis, his most dangerous Pokemon, to enter the battle.
It's the one shot. I need this to one shot. I need this to one shot. One shot, please, LeBron. LeBron, it's your life in your hands. One shot. Bang! Bang! Bang!
Although we've defeated the Terminator, this didn't mean the battle was ours yet. Electros was actually a really tricky Pokemon to battle because of its levitate ability, rendering my major damage dealers useless. But I had a risky idea. Electros has Flamethrower, and if I made sure Magnezone, who is 2 times weak to fire, was on the field, I could bait it out and let Indigo absorb it with Flash Fire, which would grant me a free switch and a 50% boost to my fire type attacks. But Electros also has Crunch, which would finish me off, so this Flame Burst had to kill.
He choked! He choked! He choked! Oh my god, he choked. Why did he go for that? Couldn't he have crunched me? I don't mind though. I don't mind at all.
And this fatal mistake will be the end of Ghetsis' story, allowing us to start the end of ours. Victory Road would end up treating us very nicely with an Altaria, and at the end, Buckrack will be waiting for me. I'll miss you, buddy, but you should probably retire from being a trainer. Now that we created a team of reliable veterans and promising rookies, it was time for the Elite Four Gauntlet. I'd build up a Pokemon to counter each trainer's team, starting with Marshall, the fighting type leader. In this fight, LeBron and Indigo will take the spotlight. Of course, well, LeBron is kinda broken, so I used him to take out every Pokemon that could do super effective damage against Indigo, and Indigo would just finish off the leftovers with Psychic. Caitlyn, she got absolutely destroyed by Zoroark. Grimsley is my favorite Elite Four member, and he got swept by LeBron, but my foot is froze. I did beat him though, I swear it on our lives. And at last we had Chantal, the ghost type member. Zoroark would take out the Covagrigus and Golek with ease, and Indigo would just clean up the rest, and yeah, that was the Elite Four. Which means the only challenge left is the champion, Iris. This fight had me so nervous that I had to take a break for a few hours, just to mentally prepare, because this is possibly the most hyped up champion fight ever. And we're immediately fucked. So remember when I said I had built my Pokemon to counter the Elite Four trainers? Well, these Pokemon aren't built to fight Iris. Especially the Hydreigon, who literally counters everything I have. The only way for me to win this is to take massive damage with Zoroark and Spork. Zoroark's U-turn ends up doing the job, but now I'd have to predict what Pokemon shall switch in. By throwing out LeBron, I can manipulate the AI to switch in Lapras. From here on out, I switch LeBron for the reliable Fant, and they got frozen. Are you kidding me? The chance to freeze is only 10%, bro. Come on. If I didn't thaw out on turn 2, I might have been unable to take out Lapras, and that could have cost me the game. Iris' next Pokemon was Aggron, who I didn't really have an answer for, but I knew that if I switched someone in, they would never be able to fight in their preferable matchup. So I had to make a decision, and I had to sacrifice Fant. To make sure Fant's sacrifice wasn't in vain, Spork one-shot the Aggron with an Earthquake. And then it will be up to Indigo to Flash Fire Druddigon's Flamethrower, and honestly, I don't know what I was supposed to do from here. I had already accepted Indigo couldn't win against this monster, but to my surprise it not only tanked a Rock Slide, but also made Druddigon flinch with Dark Pulse to take it out. My goat did more than I could have ever asked for, and I'll never forget it. Now, the only Pokemon that can hit LeBron for super effective damage on Iris' team is Haxorus, but I don't have anything to kill it in one turn, except for Outrage on Haxorus or Ice Beam on Altaria. But not only does it outspeed both, it could also go for Dragon Dance if I decide to play it safe with Zoroark or Excadrill, which guarantees that I get swept. And that's when I realized my team building forced me into a corner with no way to win except for sheer luck.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that? This has to go. Focus! Wait, it's popped. Focus Sash was already popped. Wait, what's gonna happen now? Oh. Was that it?
I win. This journey started because I wanted to experience the half of Unova I missed out on. And now that I have done that, I'm honestly impressed. I expected the game to be good, but I didn't expect it to exceed any expectations, you know? It felt like Game Freak actually tries their best on a game. And you just see that come back when you look at the places, the new music, the new story. Like, it's so full of personality, dude. They took the parts I loved about Gen 5 and just built upon it. And that makes me appreciate this experience so much. It was beautiful and I enjoyed it. And now I can comfortably say I've beaten Pokémon Black 2. But the first game's released on my birthday, so they're still better.